everybody, I'm back today with a video for a cherry on top. I'm going to be working with this adorable little photo of my puppy, and to start my layout today, I'm going to be working with these Ulta Metal dies and these 3 pattern papers from the Simple Stories Winter Woods collection. I went ahead and die cut 24 hexagons. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill the entire top, not quite half, not quite a third, somewhere in the middle, kind of staggered. And I'm going to create the look of almost like falling snowflakes by piecing in these 2 styles of hexagons on my page. So I started out with 24 hexagons that I die cut, and then I did end up having to go back and die cut I think 6 more so I could finish off my border. These metal die cuts are really delicate, so what I decided to do was I'm actually going to end up using 2 different adhesives so that I don't crush them. So they are really delicate, and I started using my tape runner, and I have that little piece of scrap paper to kind of grab the extra adhesive so it doesn't end up making a gooey mess on my mat. And then so that kind of worked, and then I am going to go in because there are going to be some edges that are going to want to pop up, and I'm just going to use some Nouveau Deluxe adhesive and kind of get those little edges down with the wet glue. And because they're so delicate, I was really careful to make sure that they were fully adhered to the pages, to the white cardstock. But they're so beautiful. I love these hexagons. They are absolutely super pretty and fun, and I cannot wait to use them on some more layouts in the coming months as we go through all the different seasons. So like I said, I'm going to fill about the top third to a little bit more than a third of the page with the hexagons. I'm alternating the colors. I have 2 different styles here, and I didn't really care whether they were the same styles were beside each other, but I did want to make sure that I had that the 3 colors were distributed pretty evenly throughout my page or across the top there. And here's the finished product. How pretty is that? I love it. I'm going to cut a piece of pattern paper that's about 2 inches by 12 inches, and I'm just going to put that at the bottom, and then the rest of my layout is kind of going to sit on that pattern paper strip like an anchor. And we can get the rest of this layout together. Now, of course, the most time-consuming part of this particular page design was cutting all of those beautiful hexagons, and the actual process of putting this layout together is going to go pretty quickly. I'm going to use some 6x8 pattern paper to back my photo with, and I'm also going to use some of the 3x4 cut apart pieces that come in the 6x8 paper pad, and I'm going to go ahead and use 2 of those, the 2 light aqua ones there, on my page as well. I really wanted to use this pretty dark gray paper to back my photo with. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I gave it like a 1/2 inch border so you could see the snowflakes. And then I'm going to put each of these 3x4 cards on either side of my photo. I'm going to ink up the edges of some of my edges. So I'm pretty much going to cover up that where that strip of pattern paper meets my white cardstock, so I'm not worried about that. And I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of Vintage Photo Distress Oxide ink around those 3x4 cards and around my photo. And then that's all the inking that I'm going to do, because I don't like to ink the edges of die cuts. I don't like the look of how they look. I'm going to use my cute little T-square ruler, and I am going to get my photo on nice and straight, and then I'm going to pop it up with some foam tape to give it just a little bit of lift from the rest of my embellishments and the rest of my layout. And then once I have my photo on straight, I can go ahead and start to go through all of my embellishments and choose the ones that I want to use to finish my layout. I'm going to go ahead and put that other card right on the left side. And once I have that in place where I want it, then I'm going to go through the die cut pack that goes with this collection. What I really want to do with the die cuts is just add a lot of those evergreen sprigs to different areas. I do end up adding a bird or two as well. And the only die cuts in this die cut pack that I'm really not so sure about are those deers. I don't know if I'm going to use those deers or not. Deers are not my jam. I find them a bit, I don't know, hard to use, I guess. Next up, I am going to go ahead and get all of these sprigs that I've chosen down on my page. My photo is just a photo of my Fitz. He is such a good car person. He loves to ride in the car, and so when I have to take the boys for errands or to run here and there, or if we're out running errands, things like that, I tend to just kind of take him with me because almost always he and I are just going to be hanging out in the car. And this particular snowy morning, we were hanging out in the car while Logan went to the dentist. So I tend to take a couple photos like this throughout the year just to remind myself or to remember that this little monkey was my companion during this time in my life, and that him and I spent lots of time in the car together. Next, I'm going to go ahead and grab the adhesive brads. I mentioned this before in another recent video about how much I love Simple Stories adhesive brads. These are kind of a new product to me. They're not something I would usually purchase or buy out of a collection, but I happened to get some one time, and now I'm somewhat obsessed. I love them. They're such a nice little addition. I also really like the sticker books from Simple Stories, and they're big. There's lots and lots of designs and styles, and the absolute best part of that sticker book is that none of the stickers in the book are clear. None of them are clear. Yes! And they're printed on matte paper, which means you can write on them. So you can actually write on the labels and write on the stickers if you want to. I want to keep my layout cohesive, and one of the ways that I'm going to do that is by taking some of the embellishments that I've used in the bottom part of my layout and pulling them up into those hexagons. So I'm going to choose some of these cute circle stickers, and I'm going to choose some more of the brads, and I'm going to fill in some of the circles in the middle of my die cut hexagons, just so that everything is kind of cohesive and goes together, and that the top part of my page doesn't feel disjointed and separated from the bottom part of my page. The last little bit of my page that I'm going to add here are just a couple of stickers. These are cute little phrases that I thought would work well with my photo, and I'm just kind of using them almost like my journaling, I guess. This was a really cold kind of morning, maybe not as cold as it is now since we're now in the single digits, but I thought that it would work well just to give some, to add them to that little space right there over in the corner. Lastly, I think I grab one or two more little brads and sprinkle them around a bit, but this is where we're going to pretty much call this layout done. You will find links to all the available products in the description box below, and here are all the close-ups. There's also a coordinating blog post that goes with this video over at A Cherry on Top, and I will leave a link to that in the description box below. Aren't those hexagons gorgeous? Oh, those dies are like amazing. They are so, 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 so pretty. I cannot wait to put them on more layouts because they just are lovely. I hope you all have a fabulous weekend, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.